Box Audio.
Ja, einen wunderschönen guten Morgen oder auch guten Tag aus Nordwestdeutschland hier von Bernward Live. Ich habe einen interessanten Beitrag auf Twitter gefunden, der sicherlich auch in Deutschland von Interesse ist, der leider in amerikanischer Sprache ist, also in Englisch, und den ich hier nur ausnahmsweise übersetzen kann. Der Text, der dieser Nachricht vorangestellt ist, lautet auf Deutsch wie folgt. Ehemalige Angehörige der Spezialkräfte der US-Armee haben eine Liste mit 350 Namen zusammengestellt, die an der illegalen Spionage, der Trump-Kampagne, der betrügerischen Covid-Pandemie, der Russland-Trump-Falschmeldung, der betrügerischen Wahl 2020, der Vertuschung des Hunter Biden-Laptops und dem J6-Setup beteiligt waren. J6 steht für die angebliche oder sonst wie von Trump angeblich angeordnete Stürmung des Kapitols, was so gar nicht abgelaufen ist. An die gesamte Menschheit und an jeden Menschen, so schreiben die Autoren, an die Menschen, der Wahrheit, Gerechtigkeit und Freiheit liebt. Sie müssen Elon Musk auffordern, alle Direktnachrichten und Twitter-Dateien zu den 350 genannten Deepstate-Verschwörern freigeben, die Amerika und die Welt zerstören. Diese Beweise werden dazu beitragen, die Festnahme und Anklage aller 350 namentlich genannten Personen zu beschleunigen, einschließlich aller anderen, die an diesen grausamen Verbrechen historischen Ausmaßes, die Hochverrat und Volksverhetzung begangen haben, beteiligt waren. In diesem Video sehen Sie alle 350 Namen auf der Deep State Target List, soweit sie die USA betreffen. Darunter Politiker, Regierungsbeamte im Gesundheitswesen, die Medien, Personen auf höchster Ebene in der CIA, im Justizministerium, im FBI und im Verteidigungsministerium. Es waren 10 Jahre Geheimdienstforschung und Augenzeugenberichte aus erster Hand nötig, um diese Liste zusammenzustellen. Ihm wurde folgende Frage gestellt. Ich weiß, Sie sind ein Green Beret, aber sind Sie um Ihre Sicherheit besorgt? Seine Antwort war jeweils, überhaupt nicht. Sie sollten um Ihre Sicherheit besorgt sein. Solange ich lebe, sollten Sie um Ihre Sicherheit besorgt sein. Ich bin voll dabei, nichts wird mich aufhalten. So haben sie gesprochen. In Englisch. Former US Army Special Forces have compiled a list of 350 names involved in the illegal spying of the Trump campaign, the fraudulent COVID pandemic, the Russia-Trump hoax, the 2020 fraudulent election, the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up, and the J6 setup. To all humanity and to every person that loves truth, justice, and freedom, you must ask Elon Musk to release all the direct messages and Twitter files pertaining to the named 350 deep state conspirators who are destroying America and the world. This evidence will help expedite the arrests and indictments of all 350 named individuals, including anyone else who was involved in these historic, atrocious crimes involving treason and sedition. In this video, you will see all 350 names listed in the Deep State target list that involve politicians, government health officials, the media, and individuals at the highest level in the CIA, DOJ, FBI, and DOD. It took 10 years of intelligence research and first-hand eyewitness testimony of these crimes to compile this list. He was asked this question, I know you are a Green Beret, but are you concerned for your safety? His reply was, not at all. They should be concerned for their safety. As long as I am alive, they should be concerned for their safety. I am all in. There is nothing that is going to stop me. So, das betrifft jetzt die Vereinigten Staaten. Das Gleiche müsste man eigentlich für die europäischen Staaten, insbesondere auch für Deutschland machen. Wir haben hier mit Sicherheit ähnliche Verhältnisse und es wäre mit Sicherheit dringend erforderlich, wenn die für den Schutz unseres demokratischen Grundrechts, für den Schutz unserer Republik, für den Schutz der Bevölkerung, wäre es dringend erforderlich, wenn die Kräfte, die mit diesen US-Kräften zusammenwirken, auch aufgedeckt würden. Ich zeige also diesen Film in amerikanischer Sprache. Wenn jemand Lust und Zeit hat, das in Deutsch zu übersetzen, gerne. Ansonsten tut es mir leid. Es ist eigentlich ganz gut zu verstehen. Ihr könnt zwischendurch das Video dann anhalten, wenn ihr es nochmal wieder spielt, denn da sind die 350 Namen gut zu erkennen und man braucht da eigentlich nicht viel Kenntnisse. Man kennt viele Namen, es sind viele uns bekannt. Hier also das Video.
The same people that I'm going to lay out, a lot of the same people that I'm going to list here are the same ones that investigated me across. I've been investigated 20 times across the Department of Defense, Department of Justice, and the Department of Homeland Security. Okay. I have it documented that they investigated me, and I know who investigated me. So what does that happen? What happens when you do that to me? I investigate you. So I've survived that scrutiny. So now I want to see if they survive the same scrutiny that they placed on me. I want to look at all of their direct messages, text messages, emails, phone calls, all of their Google holdings, right? All of their Gmail, all
So
of their
what
Facebook,
am I pulling up right here?
Instagram.
What are we going to look at right here?
All right, so I'm going to explain this.
Okay.
If you want to zoom in a little bit,
I'm gonna try.
I have it color coded. I know it's small, but this is the spreadsheet. So it's based on category. And I'm going to tell you, these are Twitter account DMs needed to prove every deep state conspiracy theory color coded by category. And you can see there which ones have Twitter accounts. So let's go with the first category in green. It is the 39 individuals that unmasked General Flynn to spy on him. One of those people, if you want to take a look at the last names, is Sarah Raskin. She's like number 10 down. See it?
Yeah, right here.
Guess who Sarah Raskin's related to, Nino?
You tell me.
Jamie Raskin, the congressman from Maryland who was the lead impeachment 2 hoax impeachment manager.
Wow.
Okay. I'm just giving you evidence and facts. You can come to the conclusion of what happens when the wife of Jamie Raskin is one of the 39 that unmasks General Flynn. I would like to see all their text messages, emails, phone calls, and I want to know the geolocation data on those communications so that if the communication took place in, I don't know, Texas, I can ask Attorney General Ken Paxton to go ahead and, I don't know, do what they do to Roger Stone, Peter Navarro, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, and General Flynn all in one, meaning a live stream swatting raid.
Jeez. What's the blue here?
Blue. Blue represents, let's take a look. John Brennan, Jim Clapper. Those are the 51 named, mostly former CIA officers that said the Biden criminal syndicate laptop had all the earmarks of a Russian information campaign. Remember? Actually, there were 60 of them, 51 named, 9 unnamed.
And you put all this together yourself? You did all this?
My team put this together, yes.
Wow. Impressive.
So there are 60 total. Okay, let's take a look. Who has a Twitter account? We'll go up. John Brennan has a Twitter account. Who was he? He was the former CIA director. Jim Clapper, right? Mike Hayden, Leon Panetta. You go through the list. Who else is on that list that I want to highlight? A guy by the name of, can you zoom in to David B. Buckley? Well, he doesn't have a Twitter account. I want to address him right now. David Buckley used to be the staff director for the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence Democrat staff. He later became the Inspector General of the CIA under John Brennan, and then he was appointed to be the staff director for the none other than, wait for it, January 6th cover-up committee.
Wow.
Remember, if you don't know what a staff director is for a committee, It is the senior most official that is doing the work. In the case of the January 6th cover-up committee, he was the one deciding who was going to be interviewed, who was going to be persecuted, and how much they were going to persecute them. So Donald Trump and your attorneys, if you're listening in, David Buckley had the most instrumental role in your criminalization as it applies to Jack Smith, and as it applies to Fannie Willis, and as it applies to the electors' persecution in Arizona as well, and other states. And guess who David Buckley would have coordinated that with? The General Counsel of the United States Capitol Police, Thomas DeBias, who is also listed on this in the January 6th category. Let's scroll down. But before we do that, you can see here some Republicans listed that you recognize. Mitt Romney, Ronna McDaniel, Robin Vos, Paul Ryan, Reince Priebus, and some secretaries of state or Wisconsin Election Committee chair. You got some governors in there that stole the 2020 election. Brian Kemp, Brad Raffensperger, right? The list goes on and on.
Man,
Katie Hobbs.
Deep State is
some
deep.
names
The
you remember,
swamp is
right?
deep. Wow. Obama.
And then some other ones, right? You got Hussein right there, Hussein Obama. And
this is the list you put together yourself.
yeah, this is just this is the short list.
Shit, man.
wait, go back. Jim Baker. Okay, you see that where it says Crossfire Hurricane in that third column?
Yes.
You see some names in there?
Yep.
Let's go over a few. So the general counsel at the FBI, let's zoom in to just those three columns in the green column. There we go. Oh, beautiful. All my work is now being displayed for the country to hear and see, sir. Thank you, Nino, for doing this. Okay. Jim Baker was not to be confused with the older Jim Baker. Jim Baker was the general counsel at the FBI, the senior attorney. Okay. Where did he go? And by the way, he was the one that authorized the illegal spying on the Trump campaign, known as Operation Crossfire Hurricane. So in 2018, what happens? Jim Baker goes to be the number 2 attorney at Twitter 1.0.
Wow.
And then Brian Auten, well, the new FBI director at the time, Christopher Ray Epps, actually his name is Christopher Ray until January 6th, and then it changes to Christopher Ray Epps, in my opinion. But anyway, Chris Ray, you get my pun there, right?
Yeah, I get it. Good.
So Chris Ray creates a new organization within the FBI headquarters known as the Foreign Influence Task Force. And that organization was created to institutionalize and convince people that the Russia hoax was a legitimate thing, and they had to create an element within the FBI to counter any future Russian interference in elections. Guess who was the supervisory intelligence analyst of that organization?
No idea. Who?
Brian Auten, the guy that defrauded the FISA court to obtain the illegal FISA warrant on Carter Page. His name's listed here. Beloved Brian Auten. And guess who else is listed here? Bill Priestap. So when Jim Comey and Andy McCabe, the director and the deputy director of the FBI, were sitting there discussing going after General Flynn, Bill Priestap, the deputy assistant director for counterintelligence at the FBI, wrote in his notes, and this is all based on exculpatory evidence that Sidney Powell was able to obtain. And it says in there, do we go after General Flynn to get him to lie or to get him fired?
Jeez.
Do we get him to lie or get him fired?
Is this all on your deep state wall and all these names here? Is that what you have on the?
Yes, and a lot of this.
And this is for the public, correct? The deep state wall. You show that at the.
No, this is part of General Flynn's movie. Exposes a lot of this, not to this length, but it's because a lot of the same people that I have listed here actually went after their first target was General Flynn. So my list is a little bit more broad than solely who weaponized against General Flynn, but the general ecosystem and the key top tier level people, same exact people, same exact people.
But what
So
I'm
when you
asking
watch,
is on the deep state wall that you have that you present to the public, is it all these? I mean, it has to be extensive, right? It shows these names or not?
yeah, the deep state wall really focuses in on the evidence to prove the complicit seditious conspiracy of the senior leaders of the CIA, the FBI, the National Security State, and then both political party leadership.
Wow.
Both. And you're
You want me
saying
to keep scrolling down?
Yeah, so slow down. I got to highlight some folks. This is so important.
Yeah.
So the two agents that were sent to get General Flynn to lie or to get him to lie or to get him fired were Joe Pientka and Pete Strzok. January 24th of 2017, 4 days into the new administration. And guess what? They wrote what's known as a FD 302, a document that is their recollection of the meeting. Joe Pientka did not think General Flynn was lying. But lo and behold, that document is not to be found. The one that was doctored is to be found. And in the text messages between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, remember, Lisa Page was the special counsel for Andy McCabe, the deputy director. And she was, let's just say, BFFs with Pete Strzok as they were texting. This is all disclosed stuff. And then on the deep state wall, you'll see the text messages and all this other stuff that's on there. And they say, you basically see that she interacts with Peter Strzok to change the wording of that form so that it looks like General Flynn was lying. He never lied. The agents never thought he lied. But Lisa Page injected her relationship with Pete Strzok so that they would change and doctor that. In addition to that, guess who Mike Pence's chief of staff was at the time? A guy by the name of Joshua Pitcock.
Who? Oh, right here. I see it.
Guess who Josh's wife was and probably still is?
Who?
Catherine Seaman. And guess where Catherine Seaman worked?
Hell of a last name. Where?
She was the senior Russia analyst for Pete Strzok.
Golly, man. This is extensive, bro.
I'm just giving you the superficial layer.
This is a lot of work. I know. I mean, this is a lot of work. So let me ask you, man. I mean, you're going head to head with these guys. You're going head to head with these guys. How are you going to present this?
They mess with the wrong guy. They're on my list.
No, I understand that. I get. Trust me, I understand where you're coming from completely. How do you expect to win when they own the whole damn system? I mean, they got all their bases covered with lawfare.
I thought this through. I think the fastest way that we can basically make them massively squirm is that when Elon Musk releases all of their direct messages and we show the link analysis communications of all the sedition that they did. And I get it. Some people are like, well, how do you know they talked about it on those platforms? I don't. Let's look and see. I can almost guarantee you that there's some evidence there that we can pull a thread on to say, oh, wait, since they were talking about this subject at this time, at this location, in this thread, let's now take a look and expose their text messages, their emails, and who's going to be in the position to do so. Imagine we take let me put back up. Listen closely, Nino. There are 3,143 counties and county equivalents in the United States, each backed by a senior law enforcement official and a district attorney or district attorney equivalent. Imagine we get the geotag location data of at least one or two of these on the 350 where they communicated in your county, where your county sheriff is an absolute meat eater that wants to go after the deep state scum, and your district attorney also wants to do the same, and we provide them the necessary evidence for them to go after them for treason in that county, in that state, because what they're doing is going after a federal actor. right? Or a former federal actor. That have most of these guys are former or current federal actors. When you present them evidence and we publish it publicly, those that voted for that sheriff and that district attorney, you're going to have the whole country descending on them, demanding that they bring out the castration tools so that they can castrate the deep state.
And this is everybody that you've researched and looked into and linked you have here on this list.
Yeah. I mean, you pick a name. I'll like.
There's Mike Pence right there. There's Mike Pence right there.
Like, but back up right here in this purple category. Nancy Pelosi's up top. Okay. Well, let's take a look. Who's Terry McCullough? That's Nancy's chief of staff. Who's Paul Pelosi, right? Christine, daughters. Who's Michael Voss? That's Alexandra's husband. Where was Michael Voss on January 6th? He was taking selfies with our friend Jacob Chansley. And guess where Michael Voss was on January 5th, the day prior? He was meeting at the JW Marriott Hotel lobby with John Sullivan, the inner breach team leader for January 6th breach of the Capitol.
How long did it take for you to put this together?
About 10 years.
Holy shit.
No, I mean, 10 years of knowledge, right? And building it up.
Right.
So right here, J6 committee. Let's take a look at the J6 committee. You got the committee members, and then below that, you got the J6 witnesses. Why do I have some generals in there? It's because those are the generals that use the term due to optics. That was the same term that Nancy Pelosi used, and the mayor of DC. Due to optics, we don't want any executive branch support to protect the Capitol, because if you did that, we would not be able to conduct a fedsurrection. Sean Gallagher. He's the assistant chief of police for operations. Who's Julie Farnham? I mean, Mark Milley, right?
You know everything about each of these individuals, don't you? Everything. Wow. I mean, it's impressive, man. I mean, this is
called a reverse FISA. You know how they spy on us?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The technical capability is there for us to do the same about them, and we're going to do it. So when Elon Musk does this, here's what I expect to happen. In order to counter this whole thing of what we talked about at the beginning, up to and including these guys are willing to conduct physical assassinations. How do we stop it? This is the solution. The deep state target list allows people to see what they did. Elon releases their direct messaging with the mother of all Twitter files. And what happens next, I think? As part of that conversation, I think Elon Musk and the big influencer, Tucker Carlson, and maybe Joe Rogan is going to finally take his panties off and do something. And I recommend the following. If we want to get our constitutional order back in line quickly, you have to expose all these folks. Now, again, I'm not going after whole institutions. I'm going after specific individuals and their staff that supported this. So in 350 plus staff, we're only looking at a couple thousand people, right? So then we rein them in and say, the only way that we, America, can guarantee to our citizens a free and fair election where machines aren't manipulating the outcome, where illegals aren't voting, where the voter rolls are garbage, right? The only way that we can fix this right now quickly before going into the general election is to convince the state legislatures in each of the 50 states to hold a joint session, vote on how they allocate their electors. So what state are you in, for example?
Texas.
You're in Texas. So how many electors does Texas have?
What is it?
40 something?
I don't know. I thought you were going to give me the answer.
The number is exact.
I don't know that.
So say it's 40 something, right?
Maybe my audience can put it in there.
Okay. So it's 40 something, I believe. 49 maybe more, 51.
In the 40s.
All right, so you can have the state house and the state senate meet and then write a resolution saying, under our Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, U.S. Constitution authorities, we're going to go ahead and allocate our electors for president and vice president to the following individual. The nominee, right? Trump. And then imagine every state legislature did that. Republicans control 306 electors,
I understand where you're going with this. I totally do. Believe me. I'm just saying, man, we got just a few months. A few months.
That only takes one day.
But we need to get, this whole Elon Musk Twitter files thing. We got to get them to do this. I don't know how you.
He just needs to do it after the RNC convention in July. So the sweet spot for him to do this is August 1st to 45 days prior to.
But you've had no communication with
him
November
at all. Election, huh?
You've had no communication with him at all.
I've communicated this to people that talk to him.
And what's the feedback?
I'm guessing that if I'm getting hit pieces like this done on me, we're probably a lot closer than what you and I
all
did.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Let's face it, Nino, how many people do you reach in terms of your audience?
Altogether, the millions every month. I reach about 5 million every month with YouTube, Rumble, Nino's Corner.tv.
You allowing me to do this interview with you and kind of laying it out puts us so much closer to actually reaching that objective.
Okay.
Because the chatter, people are just going to be chattering about it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And if you're Elon Musk and you're seeing on Twitter, everybody's asking for you to release the Deepstate DMs, you come out as a global hero.
Well, I got to tell you, man, you're the one that did all the work. You're the one that's doing all this. You're the hero.
No, man, I could care less.
Ivan, you're the hero.
I want everybody to steal this list.
I've done zero work on this.
And just share it everywhere. Don't put my name anywhere. I just want it to happen. Because when it happens, I can kick back, and when I'm a grandpa, I'll be like,
man, I'm kind of are you I know you're a Green Beret. And I know you're a Green Beret, but man, are you a little concerned for your safety, or are you just
not at all? They should be concerned for their safety.
Okay. All right.
As long as I'm alive, they should be concerned for their safety.
You're going all in.
I'm all in, bro. There's nothing that's going to stop me.
All right, folks, you're hearing it here.
You have that mindset when you're in the ring, right?
100%.
100%. No equivocation. 100%. I do not hesitate when I say that.
Okay, and I believe it. Ivan Raiklen, folks, ready for the mother of all Twitter files. He's pressing Elon Musk to do it. So boom, baby. All right, let's see what happens, Ivan. I appreciate you coming on, brother, man. Thank you for your time.
No, God bless you, man. Thanks for giving me the platform and doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. So, folks, where can people reach you, Ivan?
I do my musings online on X now, but only the free speech platforms. For those, my name's doxed everywhere, so I don't really care. You know what I mean? You can look up my phone number and email and everything. Here, let me show you something. Here's my new business cards.
I love it.
And I'm only on the free speech platforms: X, Rumble, Telegram, Gab, Getter, Locals, Truth, and Substack.
Very cool. Info at Raiklen.com. Let me write that down. Info.
That's my email. But no, I got to give a shout out. So a couple of members of the team, good old Jess, you know who you are. She helped put a lot of that together in like a nice, beautiful format. But a lot of that stuff was just 10 years of first row, second row seat to a lot of this stuff, right?
Yeah. Man, it's impressive, brother. It's really impressive.
The deep state target list.
Yeah, wow.
And they get scared when I say it that way. I'm just trying to shine some light.
All right, man. Well, thanks.
And by the way, I will say this. The longer form list, yes, I have all their phone numbers and addresses, etc.
Damn. Well, here we go. All right, Elon. Let's see it. Let's get it done. Twitter files, multiple Twitter files, all their DMs. Let's see it. All right, Ivan. Thank you.
All right, thanks, brother.
Yes. And Elon Musk, if you're watching this, do the right thing. You say that you love this country and that you are a free speech absolutist, and that means that we, the people, should have the rights to see what is in these Twitter files. Also, it was heavily curated by Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger and Barry Weiss. And we want to see the non-curated. I would like to see you put these Twitter files into the hands of the Anons, who have the research, who have tremendous research capability, and will not stop until every rock is turned over and these people have been exposed. We have the power. The
Keep
Anons
singing,
were.
Mary.
Yeah, the Anons
Amen.
have been weaponized already, and that is how so much disclosure has come out. And so please put these things in a public depository so that the Anons can have at it.